teammates, both Lotta and Jillian, and I mean, all these girls did a fantastic job, and it was just a lot of fun racing them.
What's it like on a day-to-day basis at North Baltimore, Sierra, to be able to have somebody like Lotta and Jillian, and for that matter, Connor and Michael and Chase and all those other great swimmers that you have at that club? What's it like on a day-to-day basis?
We have so much fun together. I mean, we get the job done when it's time to work, but we all encourage each other and we work hard, and I mean, we just have a lot of fun and enjoy what we do. And
this race has got to give you a lot of confidence now going into the rest of the summer as well, I imagine.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I kind of went into this just kind of seeing what I could do, and it was just fun to get into the wall.
Did you think best time by 9 seconds, though?
I
really wasn't expecting that.
Sierra, you heard what Missy called you yesterday, right? A baby bear?
Baby bear, yeah.
Sierra's coming to swim here in Northern California,
yep.
Cal.
Uh-huh.
Congratulations on your first Grand Prix win.
Thank you so much.
Sierra Runge. And we will have the men's 1500 when we continue from Santa Clara on Universal.
Ladies and gentlemen, now please welcome our top heat in the time final men's 1500 freestyle.
Finalists here in the time final men's 1500 free. Lane 1, 14th place in the 1650 free at the 2014 NC2A swimming unattached. Daniel Thompson into 6th place in this event at the 2013 World University Games. Badgers and Clubs, Ryan Feely. In 6th place in the 800 freestyle here at the Arena Grand Prix Santa Clara from Argentina.
The men's 1500 freestyle
Naidich.
now in Santa Clara as this early evening. The sun is just about set behind the stands. So the pool is in shade. You see the records times that stand. Sun Yang, who has the top 2 all-time performances in this distance. There are the 9 swimmers in this last field. Michael McBroom swimming in the middle in lane 5. Familiar name Sean Ryan from Club Wolverine. Ryan Feely from the Badger Swim Club out of Rye, New York. And, of course, Michael Klee coming down out of lane 9. We just saw Sierra Runge win out of lane 9 on the women's 8. So we will watch that. Connor Yeager earlier today did 15 even as the time right now, 15 minutes even, that 15:00:97 to be precise, and that is the time to shoot for these 9 swimmers.
Ordinarily that would not happen. It's happened a few times here and there that the winner comes out of an earlier heat, but this one it definitely could happen. Yeager is one of the best, if not the best, American distance swimmer. So that 15:00 had to catch a flight back to Michigan.
And by the way,
he decided to leave it early, but that could very well hold up.
What's the 6th fastest time in the world this year?
Yeah.
First U.S. swimmer to place in the top 10.
Jaeger's swimming very well right now. Tremendous career at Michigan.
Rowdy, you can see this, I think, very clearly in the picture. Look at the rippling across the surface of the water. Now you'll see the flags, and we referenced this in earlier. There's a lot more wind tonight. Now, give us an idea on a distance race. How significant this is.
I don't think the swimmers, I don't think they pay attention to it. I really don't. I don't think it bothers them. I think it's more of a mental thing. Physically, it's not going to be a problem because you've got the wind with you coming one of the 50s and against you on the other. But I think once you're in the water, you don't feel it necessarily, especially this wind here. I mean, it's actually died down a little bit from the beginning of the meet. I think, Ted, a little bit it has. At least the temperature has not gotten any colder than it was at the beginning. I thought it was much colder at the beginning.
You see Feely, he's up near the top in lane 2. Klee at the very bottom of your picture in lane 9.
Getting back to Katie Ledecky one last time, of all these superlatives we've thrown out, her 8:11 flat, 8:11.00, would have been 15th in the men's 800 here in Santa Clara. Now you might not think that's in the men's 800.
Right.
That's out of 45 swimmers. There were 45 men in the men's 800 freestyle. She would have been 15th. These are some of the best 800 freestylers in the world. This is not a high school meet we're talking about. It's just unbelievable. Again, that time, I keep going back to 8:11 flat. I just can't believe it.
Has there been, and we have, if you look at the all-time performances in this distance, the men's 1500, you have pretty much 3 men. You have Grant Hackett, the great Aussie swimmer, Us Maluli, and now Sun Yang of China has 3 of the top 4. Has anybody done in this distance what Katie Ledecky is doing right now in women's 800? Has anybody just really smashed through broken through the ceiling?
The only person that comes to my mind, and I don't know how much he did it when he broke it originally, but Grant Hackett, when I saw him break that world record in Japan, in Tokyo in 2001, he broke it by about 4 or 5 seconds back then. So I think when you talk about the men's side, I still think Grant Hackett is the greatest distance freestyler in history.
That swim you're referencing is still the 3rd fastest.
Yeah.
13 years later.
13 years later, is still the 3rd fastest at Fukuoka. That's what it was. Mike Hunter, our expert back there, telling me exactly the location. Fukuoka, Japan, at the World Championships. But that's the one that jumps out at me because, I mean, he broke the record at that time by, I think it was over 6 seconds. So Sun Yang certainly has a chance to be the greatest in history. I think he's still got a little bit to prove on that front. Not that he needs to prove that he's the best now, but in the history books, I think if he wins one more gold medal, he certainly will have an argument to go down as the greatest in history. But when you're talking about the great American men distance swimmers right now, they're at this meet. Because you look at Connor Yeager, who swam earlier. McBroom is in there, by the way, American record holder in the 800 freestyle. Sean Ryan is in there. Ryan Feely. These guys all swam. They were all in the top 8 at the World Championship trials last summer. Chad LaTourette was 4th. He's no longer swimming. So you're looking at American men's distance swimming right now.
And that's exactly right. Yeager won the World Championship trials. McBroom 2nd, Ryan 3rd. They're both swimming here. And again, Connor Yeager's time, which ultimately will come into play here in about 9 minutes from now, is 15:00.
Yeah, it's still a little early yet, but I think it's going to hold up. Just looking at it, just knee-jerk reaction, you're talking 5:04. They're going to have they're certainly going to have the negative split. But that's what Yeager did. I think Yeager was 5:03 at the 500, so not sure they have the same back half speed as Connor Yeager. But certainly have a chance still. Still early, like you said, 1/3 of the way through the race. 1,000 meters, a long way to go. And they know what they have to beat. I mean, they know going into the race, 15 minutes That's what they had to do.
Right. And after the hot, strong start Ryan Feely had at the top in lane 2, it's Michael McBroom now, the steady lane 5 swimmer. He has taken the lead as we come in towards the 600-meter mark in this 1,500-meter race.
McBroom just had a sensational summer last year, winning that silver medal in the 800 freestyle and breaking that American record, and now just inched up to the lead.
So McBroom with the lead as they start now on the back 900. And we will pause here in Santa Clara and return for the finish of this 1,500.
15.97 for Connor Yeager, 15.33.90 for Kevin Litherland from Dynamo, and the third fastest time, Sean Gresham from Nitro at 15.39.11. Michael McBroom starting to pull away from the field, 7:04.27. Split time of 29.83 in that last 50. This next turn will be the halfway point at 750 meters in the men's 1,500 free. So the halfway split, 7:34.21 for McBroom. You have to see a negative split here if he wants to catch that time done by Connor Yeager.
Men's 1,500 freestyle here in Santa Clara. We're coming to the 850 turn, and the only two men who have ever broken 15 minutes out of these 9, and that's what you'd have to do to win this tonight, are the two that are in the lead, Michael McBroom and Sean Ryan. And again, Connor Yeager earlier today posted 15.0097. So that is the 6th best time in the world this year. And only these two swimmers here, McBroom and Ryan, have ever gone under 15.
And they're getting a little better. McBroom was 0:03. He's going to have to be starting throwing in some 59s.
900-meter turn.
9:04 now. He's got to start inching those 59s and doing it pretty soon. Although you've got to figure his last 100, he'll be able to be, 57 plus.
Final 600 meters.
Certainly having Sean Ryan right there pushing him is helping him a lot at this point.
This is exactly how they swam a lot of that race in Indianapolis last summer. Connor Yeager won, and McBroom held off Sean Ryan for the 2nd spot.
And this is a tough position to be in, because not only are you racing a person next to you, but you're racing a clock that you don't know about. So yes, you're feeling like, hey, I've got to go my best time, or I've got to go close to it. And McBroom's best time is 14:53, so he doesn't necessarily have to go his best time, but he's going to have to go pretty fast. He's 00.8 there, so he's actually gotten a little bit slower. He's definitely, with 500 meters left, he's definitely got to start throwing in some 59s. Not necessarily consistently, but he's got to get at least a couple of them before that last 100, because even if he goes 57 on the last 100, it's still not going to be enough.
And you saw, again, your math was right. He's going to have to come in about 4:54 here for the final 500.
And that's a tough task to do, especially because you're racing Ryan, you're just trying to stay ahead of him. So it's not necessarily racing the clock. He might feel like he's got the race in hand if he beats Ryan, but you've got to throw that other adjective in there, and that's racing the clock.
So they see the distance that these two swimmers, as we come to 1,100 meters, 400 to go, you see the distance they've separated themselves. Ryan Feely is in third, but not in contention.
30 flat on that 50 by McBroom, so he's starting to drop the 50s just a little bit, but again, he's got to start throwing some 29s in there.
And I think your point you made, Rowdy, a little while ago really shines here. I mean, we didn't see Jaeger, but Jaeger's time speaks. And now these two swimmers, this is the cream right here.
It
U.S. men's distance swimming.
It is, so it's a good measuring stick for all these guys to kind of see where they're at 6 weeks out, because these guys are definitely in the middle of hard training. And then again, the distance swimmers don't taper quite as much as a lot of the middle distance and sprinters do, so they're certainly going to get faster. But
and these two know exactly, right?
They know exactly where they're at and exactly what they need to do to get to this point. I have a feeling they probably know they're 12:05 and 12:06.
All right, so 300 meters. And it continues to be McBroom. He's holding anywhere from a half to three-quarter body length lead on Ryan. This is the way the last several hundred meters have been. And the pace, they're about 2 seconds, a little over 2 seconds behind Jaeger.
So where Jaeger was at in this race at the 1200 mark, they're about 2 seconds behind. So still there's the chance. It's a slight chance, especially because of what a great closer Jaeger is, but that chance is slowly slipping away.
And McBroom is just lengthening that lead a bit, but it's just beyond the body length.
13:03.2 was Jaeger, so if he would have flipped right there, 3 seconds behind, it's not going to happen. He's going to win this heat. He's going to be heat winner.
Yes, with 200 meters now, just a little less than that remaining.
He'd have to come home in 154.
I've got to say, Roddy, you look at some of the things, as we're given all this information, times. Gregorio Paltrinieri of Italy.
Yeah.
Top time in the world this year, 14:44.
It's pretty quick. and a guy that the Americans will not see this summer.
And when you say, again, only only 5 have gone under 15 minutes. Jaeger's time today is the 6th fastest in the world this year, but then you have an outlier of 14:44 time. All right, so coming here toward the final 100, McBroom again, he's out just over a body length ahead here, but he's about 4 seconds behind Jaeger's pace.
And still a good time. He's still going to pop off a good time, even if he goes 15:05 or something like that. That's still a solid time, 001 there. There's absolutely no way he's going to do it. Neither one of these guys is going to even get close to Jaeger. But still, both solid times. And you can see how far out in front they both are. And at this point in the year, I think both of them will tell you they would take a 15:05, 15:06, no doubt. Takes the sting away just a little bit, knowing that their times are going to be solid, but not having Jaeger in there certainly hurts.
And the human nature side of me says, I'm impressed. McBroom has gone about the last 1,000 meters here. He has gone with Ryan pretty much on his hip, and he never let him